you the truth, so help them God. And it doesn't matter of what religious persuasions they are. So, because of this, and because charismatic preachers and teachers had convinced me and many others that the God of the Bible is the one to be upheld and respected, because on the backs of our legal tender, our money from America's treasury, and because our pledge to Old Glory includes the phrase one nation under God, I decided to do some research on my own concerning this God to whom I had dedicated 21 years of my life. Indeed, I had been a devout Christian for much of my life. I was searching for truth and was told that the truth could be found in the Bible. So every time the church door opened, I was there, praising and worshiping, sometimes singing on choirs, giving tithes and offerings, and always praying, praying, praying. Even sending offerings to missionaries and adopting a child from Kenya through the Christian Children's Fund. I thoroughly believed that what I was told about the God of the Bible was truth. However, independent study, without the teachings of charismatic preachers and teachers, without their writings, their tapes, and compact discs, revealed some startling new insight into the God of the Bible. My study guides included the King James Standard, the New International, and the Amplified versions of the Bible, a Hebrew Chaldean concordance to the Bible, 2 Greek word study volumes to the New Testament, and several copies of Roget's Thesaurus, as well as 4 dictionaries. And here are just some of the facts I learned through careful study and through cross-referencing. The Jesus of the New Testament is the same as Jehovah of the Old Testament, and is the king and expected deliverer of the Jews. The Jehovah of the Old Testament can be referred to as Jah, the Lord most vehement, or Jehovah, the God of the Jews, that is bitterly antagonistic. Jehovah is also referred to as the Lord Most High, or Jehovah the Supreme or Lofty God, that is Allah, the God caused to be raised up to break the day, that is to violate or transgress the truth or the light. Now, not one preacher or teacher had ever told me that. Psalms 2:8 states that if asked, Jehovah would give the heathens to his Jewish followers. In the Hebrew, heathens are called goyis, or foreigners, gentle Gentiles. These foreign, gentle Gentiles were to be the Jewish nation's inheritance, along with all that the goyis owned. Now this would make the foreign Gentiles slaves and the Jews their masters. Now, as I studied the Greek word study guides to the New Testament, I discovered that in Matthew 4:17-19, as well as in other New Testament passages, when Jesus asked his disciples to follow him, and he would cause them to be fishers of men, what he actually meant was to do as he did and catch or physically capture men, and not just run-of-the-mill ordinary men, but remarkable, uncommon men and women, and that his disciples would be appointed as leaders over these caught like fish on a hook people. Does this sound like Psalm 2:8? This makes Jesus Jehovah